For anybody that says that the Championship's not tough,
The Championship is about runs.
imagine both teams get relegated.
You're thinking, this is not quite as comfy as it used to be. One of the other leagues at the moment where the league table is pretty unrecognisable is our beloved Championship.
Man,
Upside down, right? The table is upside down. So
if we threw a net, Seb, at the bottom of that table, how much history is down there?
Well, currently languishing from, let's go from 16th down, actually. So we've got 24 teams. Let's do half of them then. Birmingham in 13th. Ipswich Town, Wrexham, Swansea, Portsmouth, Southampton in 16th place. Pretty damning indictment on them as well. Sheffield United 21st. Chris Wilder got a couple of wins in a row now. But we've got Norwich City and Blackburn Rovers. Sheffield Wednesday,
beloved Blackburn as well.
Nobody's surprised by Sheffield Wednesday's position at the bottom of the table.
Well, you're talking about ownership. I know we're talking about Premier League ownership, Sheffield Wednesday ownership.
Well, having sort of been in a situation similar to Sheffield Wednesday's ones, I know how difficult it is to operate a club in those circumstances. You know, it's bloody hard. And I think they're on a hiding to nothing. You know, and that's how you have to look at it. All right, Sheffield Wednesday are prime candidates to be relegated.
What I'm scared of, though, is that the city of Sheffield does not deserve, and I know in football and in life in general, I don't deserve is like who doesn't deserve bad things. I'm sorry, who does deserve bad things to happen. But imagine no top flight. I know Championship's not top flight, but it's still imagine both teams get relegated. That is wild.
I don't see Sheffield United getting relegated.
No, I don't, but they're there right now. So
at the moment, they are in the conversation.
I think that Chris Wilder effect will defo.
They're fourth from bottom, but their results have taken a bit of an upturn.
Talk to me about Derby.
Derby. Well, you're going to be more the expert on Derby than I am at the moment, but they're languishing in 19th. And I think, listen, when we're looking at the clubs like Portsmouth, like Wrexham, like Oxford, like Sheffield Wednesday, League One is a suffocating place to be, because what happens is that all the fun gets removed from the footballers. All the atmosphere is gone. You're going to play away in crap stadiums on crap pitches, and that's where you see the real drop-off. Within the Championship, you've got clubs who have got parachuted, who've been in the Premier League for years and years and years, who've got amazing training grounds. Even half of the clubs who've not been in the Premier League, amazing training grounds. And I would say that there are the levels, the standards of their installations are such that no player has got any excuse there, Whereas when you get into League One, the money stops. And you get those first signs as well. You might have to train at a leisure centre or a public gym a couple of times a week. And you're thinking, this is not quite as comfy as it used to be. So I think when we're looking at those kind of teams, obviously Wrexham have got a slightly different background to the other ones, but they're coming from an even lower starting point. So for people to be looking at Wrexham and calling for Phil Parkinson's head at this point as well, which they were a couple of weeks ago, absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. The one who, for me, is in the biggest trouble out of everybody is Norwich City. Why Norwich City? Well, first of all, it's just not working and hasn't been working for 3 seasons now. And they spent a lot of money. If we're looking at the sort of relative spend, HMRC will confirm this as well, is that we've got Coventry City sitting at the very, very top of that table. Coventry City and Norwich's spend has not been too dissimilar over the past 4 seasons. But what we've seen from Coventry is stability.
Stability, yeah.
Okay, they haven't overbought. They haven't changed 5-6 players in a go. Each season they've been investing 4s and 5s in key players throughout that squad, and on the whole, either keeping on to them or selling them for profit, making that difference so they can go and go. How much of an impact do you think that Frank Lampard is having at Coventry City? Because for me, with all due respect to Lampard, he's obviously doing a great job with that group of players. This is a club move. We spoke earlier on about Ross Wilson in Newcastle and what I believe he's going to bring and what he brought previously to Nottingham Forest, which I don't think Edu is bringing. Similarly, at Coventry City, you have a behind-the-scenes plan that is cohesive, that's worked, that's good. At Norwich City, you've got Ben Napper. Ben Napper was the loans manager at Arsenal prior to going to Norwich, where he's been for the last 2-3 seasons now as well. How much is the manager? How much is the club plan responsible for these situations.
Do you know what's weird? I went and watched Coventry play at the start of last season. I think third game in before they had sacked
Robbins,
and they played some of the best football that I'd seen. They just wasn't getting results. They played. Listen, their triangular movement was. Everybody who had the ball had about 3 or 4 options. It was nice.
Impressive to watch.
It was impressive, but they just wasn't getting results. And obviously going from losing the playoff final the season before that.
Got to be tough, right?
Yeah, tough.
So
tough. Okay, they made the decision and they stuck by it, and Lampard's come in. And I think what Lampard's done really well.
He was a difficult appointment to make, I think.
I think that was a big, bold statement, because if you really look at it, away from Lampard's playing career, with the opportunities that he's had, did it merit him getting that type of job again?
No, we could say that, if we're being cynical, he walked into the Chelsea job that he didn't earn, did an okay job, got to Derby. Now, we've since seen everything at Derby was rotten.
Yes.
And I think that you go into a situation...
But that was the start, when the people understand why.
Possibly, but I don't think that we could... I don't know. I don't think that Frank Lampard was the catalyst for Derby County's financial mismanagement from board level. I don't think he was. But I think that he may have suffered as a result of all that going on at the time, when he's probably been given certain assurances as well of what's going to happen. And then they don't happen because, we look at the managers and boardrooms and we believe that there's a good relationship between them.
Yeah, but if you look at that time with Frank Lampard at Derby and you look at their squad, they were...
It was a good squad.
That squad in Championship, yeah, he should have got promoted. Yeah. And I don't think everyone says, they lost in the playoffs, in the playoff final. It shouldn't have been the playoff final. They should have got...
Should have been automatic
promotion. And then if you see like where he's been after
and how things have
gone, does it merit that job? His results now are saying yes.
Yeah. But that's why it was probably a complicated appointment to make, because of all the reasons you said. If you go, listen, we are statistics
but they're a good
obsessed team at the moment. But that's the thing, is that he's got the pieces in place already.
And that's what I was about to say. Has he gone in trying to overcoach, or has he gone in being, you know what I've learned
from last time? That was the point I made about Ange, though. Earlier on, is that I know that you know what you're getting, but for Ange's sake, because he is a likeable, grumpy old bear, I just wanted him to be fairly successful.
Yeah, but again, though, it's a bit different in terms of Lampard coming in and stabilising
Coventry,
and
different jobs. But I suppose more of it is just adaptation of your personal style. Maybe Frank didn't have an established personal style as such
when he first took over.
Yeah, you can't really say that he imposed any particular style upon Chelsea. So
you know what's... I know it's only early, and listen, Championship is a tough league, right? Charlton Athletic, we have to give them... Like, they just came up, sitting 5th.
Well, the London, should we say the historically smaller teams of London are currently doing particularly well. We've got Millwall and Charlton both sitting in the top 6, and I don't think that anybody had them penciled in. So you've got Alex Neil back at Millwall. Femi Aziz, currently their form player as well, the winger. Femi signed him down at Reading, actually. Gave him his first professional contract. How long do you think that Millwall can sustain this run for?
Do you know what? Millwall is a difficult club. Well, not club. Difficult team to kind of dissect. In terms of, during every year, they do well to a point and then just fall off
the face of the earth.
You know what I mean? It's a
bit like
everyone
Preston,
knows.
Right?
It's
Preston most seasons, same thing as well.
Yeah,
like January, February, you think, playoffs.
And I think what Millwall do well, they ain't look to change nothing. Like the stadium's the same, the change room's the same, everything. So when you're gonna go to Millwall,
do they still call it the New Den?
I'm not sure if it's still called
the New Den.
Got
to drop the name New now.
Cam can
got to drop the name New.
But even like just going there, like we was talking about, the variables are going to be tough. So then to play against a tough team, it's like you're already 2-0 down. You got to match that straight away. And they do that well to a point every season, and then they just fall off. Yeah, hopefully for them this season, they don't fall off, but they got an experienced manager now that I think he's trying to prove himself right again, you know?
Yeah,
I think this is his
re-establishing himself.
Re-establishing himself, as you say. But what they do have in their favour, it's a tough, for anyone that's going there, it's a tough place. So then when you have to play up against a tough team, a team that's hard to beat, it's tough. So hopefully they don't drop off. But every year it seems like they do. I think last season they was doing the same type of thing as well, and then they just dropped off. But
I think with
if you look at, there's none of the teams. Sorry to cut you off. None of the relegated teams are even in.
No, I mean, listen. If we're looking at Ipswich, I don't think they would have had any kind of idea that they would be, languishing 14th place in the table at the moment.
Who else got relegated? So you got Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. So for anybody that says that the Championship's not tough, have a look at that. So for anybody that says that the Championship's not tough, can change everything.
The Championship is about runs.
Yeah.
It's about runs of games and putting these things together. Because if you can go on a run of 5 wins, you've done maybe 8 places in the table.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible how quickly that can change. And also within the Championship too, there are teams who will come at you in a much, much more direct sense than they will in the Premier League.
Oh, for 90 minutes.
For 90 minutes. So, again, you can be the best footballing side in that division. But defensively, you might be one of the weakest against set pieces.
I think in Championship football, you have to match whatever the other team's going to give you.
Intensity and work rate,
you
number
have to
one.
match that.
Number one. And that's,
and then you're able to earn the right to play how you want to play.
Well, let's talk about Valérien Ismaël very quickly. So he was somebody who had huge success at Barnsley initially, which sort of, really launched his career. You played against some of those Barnsley teams. What were the sort of hallmarks of what you were facing?
The Barnsley team that he had was horrible to play against. For 90 minutes, you knew that their intensity was never going to drop. Their defensive line was one of the most intense defensive line to push up to the halfway line
so
after
striker,
every first
what you're
contact.
Often looking for is that half a second where the defender switches off and you think, okay, I'm in. And it's so, it can happen maybe once a game, twice a game. How often?
So you'd win, that goal kick would come, they'd drop. Whether they got first contact, second contact, they was up to the halfway line. So now you got to try and get back on side because your defense is going to win that. And now they're winning it again and they're squeezing back up. You're making a run. They're tracking you back. Keeper comes out. They know exactly what they're doing. Defenders sprinting up to the halfway line. You're like, my God. So straight away they're intense. They know what they're doing.
Clear plan as well.
And why he did well there is because the style of football that he wanted to play suited every single Barnsley player.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the Nicky Carl point that we made earlier on is that he stylistically, and the Ange thing as well, right kind of manager for that team. Because arguably, if we're looking at Ismaël at the moment as well and how his Blackburn Rovers team are doing, second from bottom, when it comes to defenders, for example, there are, I remember Franck Cudreux, the left back, played at Middlesbrough, played at Fulham as well. And Franck was at Fulham under Laurie Sanchez. And Franck was a footballer. He used to like to play with the ball on the ground and used to like to receive a ball from his defender and play it into midfield. He saw himself as part of that movement, part of that team. And with Laurie Sanchez, he was asked, okay, Frank, what I want you to do is hit a 50-yard diagonal and just hit 40 of those for me because that's how we're going to play from now on. And the player became disengaged with the team from that moment as well. Would you say that with the squad that they managed to form at Blackburn Rovers, with Rudy Gested as their sporting director, Frenchman backing up Valérien Ismaël, do you think they got this one right?
Time will tell, but right now it doesn't look
What's
so.
the table telling you?
Yeah, the table is telling you that it's not. Looking at what fans are saying online, they're not enjoying going down and watching that type of football. If you look at everywhere that he's been since Barnsley, he's not done particularly well because, and this is the reason why I think, is that the type of football that he wants to play doesn't match the players that he has. So systems to players or players to system. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So which one is it? I think that has to be the difference. They're really going to have to look at that soon. Because again, I think Blackburn was a club run on being happy to stay in the Championship. Not that the fans deserve that, but I think the owners were all right just being in the Championship. Now they're looking like, listen, might be a relegation fight. I think things will probably have to change and the owners will be looking to make a change. But again, it's down to Rudy Jest. I don't know how much experience he has in sacking and hiring.
What I know about Rudy Gested with his experience is that he loves a photo opportunity. And anybody who has LinkedIn, type in Rudy Gested and you'll find about 200 pictures of him with the various signings that they made, which is great. But I just think that sometimes worry less about your public image, worry more about the job that you're meant to be doing, because at the moment, you're looking silly. You're looking very, very, very silly.
Yeah, and as we said, what an historical club as well.
The memories of Blackburn with the kind of teams that they produced as well over the years, going back to, I remember.
Man, if we start going, Andy Cole, Alan Shearer.
I mean, just the record signings that they made when they signed Chris Sutton. That was a UK transfer record. Somebody who was on top form as well when he was at Norwich. Bang, goes across Championship winners.
And you sometimes, not sometimes. Life is about sometimes checking your ego, and things need to move there. They need to move rapidly as well, because what are they now? What, they got 7 points? 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points from 10 games.
7 points. I've seen coaches get fired for less.
Yep. So
your guy, Ange.
I was about to say, but we didn't want to go too Ange heavy. Bravo. We managed to make it through another entertaining, I thought. Nobody else did. Off the Bar podcast with me, Seb, Monsieur Lucas for Football Park. Head over to footballpark.com for all the latest stories and information. We will catch you next time.